A little trip, a big reflection. In this video, I'd like to share a couple of stories from a short trip to Montreal last week and reflect how our bucket lists, our goals, and our ideas of adventure may evolve over time. Retirement does bring a new kind of freedom, but it may also bring a new understanding of what really matters. My friend and I have been on quite a few trips since 1992 when we first met. We met when I started a new job after returning to work from my maternity leave after having my son in 1991. She worked for the same company and her son was a year old at that time. We became fast friends and we've seen each other through many of life's ups and downs ever since. And now here we are, both retired, both single or independent, as I like to say, and both really enjoying this time in our life. When we were younger, busy working moms, we used to manage one weekend a year away, just a couple of nights away, usually in Toronto, to catch a theater production, maybe a couple of nice leisurely meals, just 2 days of no crying, no cooking, and no housework. Of course, the crying and the housework were waiting for us when we got back home, but still, those weekends were gold. And now we can plan longer, farther trips or more spontaneous trips. Life is good. This was actually my first trip since retiring, just a short getaway trip before winter sets in. I decided on Montreal because I had driven through it many years ago, but had never spent any time there. Montreal is the second largest city in Canada, with a population of over 4 million people in the city and surrounding area. It's known for its unique blend of European charm and North American energy. Montreal is just a short 1-hour flight from Toronto Pearson Airport. It takes longer to get to Toronto by car than it took for us to fly from Toronto to Montreal. We stayed in a hotel in Old Montreal, the historic heart of the city, with cobblestone streets, 17th century buildings, and a wonderful mix of old world charm and modern life. It's beautiful and busy, but somehow still relaxed. The first couple of days were cool, but sunny, which was perfect for exploring Old Montreal and the Old Port. The Old Port is the historic port area adjacent to Old Montreal's cobblestone streets. It runs along the St. Lawrence River. Because it was early in the week, but late in the season, the streets were very quiet. The Old Port is now a public space with museums and all kinds of recreational activities, like this one. With a little encouragement from my friend, who knows my fear of heights very well, we decided we'd give it a try. She's always so protective and thoughtful about making sure that we don't end up in a situation that might be too much for me. But she must have known that this one would be okay, and she was right. Le Grand Roue de Montreal is the tallest Ferris wheel in Canada, and I did it. It was amazing, and I was so proud of myself. Honestly, it felt like a major accomplishment. Who would have thought that I'd be up there, hundreds of feet above the ground, actually enjoying the view? Later that day, we joined a small walking tour group up Mount Royal. The city's namesake, Mount Royal, is a prominent hill in the center of the city, and no building is allowed to be constructed taller than that. The walk started out beautifully. Crisp air, autumn leaves, and great company. There were 6 of us in the tour group. A couple from Switzerland in their 70s, a couple from Texas in their 50s, my friend and I, and our tour guide, a gentleman from Greece with his little dog, Cleo. We hiked through the trails, climbed up stairs and along winding paths for about an hour until we came to an area of the path that was under repair. The guide had to reroute us, and suddenly there it was, a 3-foot jump into a gravel ditch, and then up a small embankment. Now, I don't know about you, but these old bones haven't done a jump like that in decades. I was the last one in line, and my brain said, Absolutely not. But it also said, well, if they can do it, then you can do it. I've always been such a follower all my life. I remember Mom saying to me, well, if someone told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Well, I got my answer that day. So I jumped and instantly felt a lightning bolt of pain up my leg and into my hip. My friend felt a similar pain in her back. We hobbled on as best we could, but later in the walk, we discovered that we weren't the only ones feeling it. 2 others hurt their knee, someone else hurt their hip, so I guess I wasn't the weakest link in the group after all. Who would have thought that a walk in the park would leave us so sore and that a ride in a 200-foot Ferris wheel would be a piece of cake? Life is so funny, but you have to keep that sense of humor as you get older. We had to walk another 3 miles back down, which probably helped work out some of the kinks. But still, let's just say we were herding units for the next day or so. That evening, we went to the Notre-Dame Basilica for the Aura light show. And oh my goodness, what a breathtaking experience that was. Approximately 11 million people visit this basilica every year, making it one of the most visited monuments in North America. In 2022, Notre Dame was named the 6th most beautiful building in the world, and I could see why. The Aura Light Show is an immersive light and music experience. While sitting in the pews in the dark, beautiful scenes are projected onto the walls, the vault, and the altarpiece, and it leaves you almost speechless. It was like being inside a moving painting. The ceiling and the walls seemed to come alive with the most spectacular colors. It was emotional, powerful, and one of those moments that remind you how beautiful human creativity can be. The next couple of days it rained, so we did some shopping, we lingered over some quiet meals, and just enjoyed a slow pace. On our last night, we had dinner in one of the restaurants at the Old Port, and we both agreed it was easily one of the best meals we've enjoyed in quite some time. It was a lovely way to end our little getaway. The next morning, we left the hotel in the pouring rain and made our way to the Montreal Airport for our 1-hour flight to the Toronto Airport and then our drive home. With every trip I take, I kind of come to the same conclusion. For me, traveling is kind of a funny thing. I love seeing and experiencing things I wouldn't normally have the chance to, but I also love coming home, back to my quiet little life, back to the peace and comfort of my own space. And airports, they just about do me in. The security lines, the chaos, the noise, it always makes me feel like we're cattle being herded and prodded to our ultimate fate. For me, the airport experience is almost reason enough not to travel. It's funny, isn't it? All of our younger working lives, we dream of retirement and travel, the freedom to go anywhere, anytime. And I have done a few wonderful trips over the years with family and friends. But now that I'm retired, I'm finding that travel isn't quite the priority that I thought it would be. I do still want to see more of Canada, and those will be my next adventures. But the big, far-flung trips around the world, for some reason staying closer to home and to family feels more meaningful now. I think what happens as we move through different seasons of our life is that our definition of adventure changes. When we're younger, it seems like something we have to do to prove that we've lived our life fully. But somewhere along the way, for me, that urgency has softened. It's not that the world becomes less interesting. It's maybe that my definition of my world is more personal. And at this point, life seems more about being than doing. I think maybe our bucket lists shrink, but I think they also get deeper. It's no longer about how many stamps are in the passport, but how present we feel wherever we are. There's something about retirement that brings a new kind of an awareness. Time doesn't feel unlimited anymore, but that can make it feel richer. We stop chasing what everyone else calls must see or must do, and we start asking ourselves, what do I actually want to do or experience? For some people, that still means climbing mountains or taking cruises. For others, and I think I'm one of them, it's about slowing down, noticing things around me, and creating memories that feel peaceful instead of exhausting. I guess travel is like life. It doesn't matter how far you go, but how fully you feel when you're there, wherever that there is. Have your travel goals or bucket list changed over the years? What are your thoughts on travel? Are they still a can't wait, or is it a hard pass? I'd love to know how you see adventure now. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope your day is filled with peace and positivity, and that you can create some beautiful memories where you are right now. Until next time, take care.